On this 21st day of September, it's a hurricane day in Abaco. This is the hardest I've seen it's blown since Hurricane Dorian. So your thoughts are pure, you're level-headed, and anybody that went to Abaco Central High, we had a brilliant American teacher, a science teacher. His name was Ben Sauer. And the first time I ever heard the word DNA, this was over 40 years ago. And he said, you are the same DNA of your father, your parents. And I look at one such man that I lost respect for, Brent Simonet. Greedy just like his daddy, think that this country only belongs to him and his kids. This guy has made more this time as a member of parliament in this FNM government than people would make in a lifetime. Greed. Brent Simonet didn't come back to serve this country. Brent Simonet came back to serve himself. How many others will be coming back to serve themselves? You imagine Brent Simonet, all that he have. His father left him connected to all the natural resources that nobody seems to be able to take it back for the country. Because every time somebody tried, they will put them on the corner, put them on the side. Where you want me to put this 20 million? And the black rulers don't even know what they have. Hubert Ingram was one of the most disappointing men in my life because he knows about this. But he too accepted the bribe, forgot about country, and the saga continues. Hubert Ingram did more for the rich man, the rich white man, than he did for anybody in North Abaco that supported him. The Port deal alone, Hubert never included nobody out of North Abaco. I could call the names that were totally supportive of him. When he go, he come, and this guy has been one of the most disappointment of my entire life because we thought that he came from a humble beginning. He would have remembered, but he said, leave them black brutes in Copistan just the way they are. You imagine 35 years, 3-time prime minister, and he have not made anybody $500,000, but he's made all his white boys that is already rich from the stealing of our natural resources more wealthier. Nobody has pocketed $1 million and the money is on the table. You imagine Brent, the first deal he did. This guy is about a billionaire. I'm pretty sure he's a billionaire by now for what his father left him 30 years ago. He's in every deal. The hotel, the post office deal alone, what he got. He just keep taking and taking from this country. Came back only to take. And when he sit down with Baker's Bay and make a deal for him and the Prime Minister, while he's a minister of the government, self-dealt himself and the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the most honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis. I can't call him honorable. That's why I could speak different than y'all. I'm not looking for him to give me anything but good government. That haven't happened so far. When Brent Simonet, the richest man in Parliament today, could go to Bakers Bay while he's the Minister of Investment and to took investment from Albury's Ferry in the tune of 25 million. Like, wow. Even after COVID-19 was discovered in Bakers Bay, they could have hold that there. But no, Brent Simonet and the Prime Minister have to have that boat running because that was the deal. Whatever Bakers Bay want, 25 million could buy plenty Prime Minister. So the hell with the Abaconians, whether they live or die, that boat must sail because our check must continue to come while with the government. We're self-dealing ourselves in the tune of 25 million. Most country, and y'all want to say them Haitians stupid. Man, if they would have tried that in Haiti, the Prime Minister of Haiti, the Haitian would have burned tires, throw Lil Rock until he resigned, and they weren't gonna stop. We in the Bahamas salute the Prime Minister when we see him after him and Brent edge out a $25 million deal in my town of Abaco. When last had we had somebody that sit at the table for Bahamian? That's why this Westminster type of British ruling government, that monarchy has to be thrown out the window, just like how Penland threw the mace. This Westminster type of government is cruel, illegal, crooked. You saw this week the Prime Minister have his crew out campaigning when it's supposed to be social distances. They're campaigning. How could that be? How could it be that only the Prime Minister, I want the world to know because people probably don't even know all over the world, only the Prime Minister of this country knows the date when the election will be called. His cabinet cannot tell him when to call election. Only he and he alone sets the date for an election in this country, and it's been that way since independence, 73. Only the Prime Minister. That's what I call an elected dictatorship. There is no democracy. There's no fair play when only the Prime Minister of the country knows when the election will be held. Only he and he alone shall call election. That ought to change. I don't think it's that way in England or Great Britain, but this is the way it's been for decades in this country. And back to Brent, just like his father, he's doing the same thing. But back then, it was the UBP. It is the white rule. But the black brothers, Hubert Ingraham, Hubert Minnis, these are black prime ministers that are giving Brent everything. And poor Bahamians don't know where the next meal is coming from. North Abaco, that is why Kai want to get there. They say one person can't make a difference. Oh, but Kai will try. I will open up every book, kick down every can to find out what happened to $4 billion. All the money that Abaco has sent into the treasury, it is criminal. That's why Mashaba started the Abaco Independence Movement, because we want to be independent from all these crooks in Parliament. You imagine we spent and sent through our taxes $160 million before Hurricane Floyd during this F&M regime this time, and we cannot get 60 of that 160 back. That can't be right. That is cruelty, unnecessary punishment for Abaco. And there in Enfield, all he wants to do is ride the Prime Minister around when he comes there. Once he could show for the Prime Minister, he is in hog heaven. That does nothing for the people that you elected you. How is anybody in their normal sense gonna go to anybody's house in North Abaco and South and Central Abaco in a red shirt and say elect again this uncaring, this heartless, useless, weightless, good for nothing FNM government? How could you do it in good conscience when Brent Simonet, the great white shark, has taken the bread and the crumbs off the table that should have been for the Bahamas and Bahamian? And everybody is mighty quiet. It's one of these Kai cares asking, what can I do for my country and North Abaco? Not what I can do for Kai Mills, because I want to be a servant of the people of North Abaco that haven't had that type of representation in over 35 years. And we need such representation in times like these, because these are trying times, these are hurtful times, and all the pain that was brought on us by Hurricane Dorian, it is being escalated by the lack of care by this weightless FNM regime under the leadership of a doctor turned prime minister, the most honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, that was again in Abaco down to his little retreat. Like Marcus Vineyard, he believes he's a president. He comes down on his little retreat and laugh at the people in the domes. 1 year, 21 days, this prime minister has not built one home for one Abaconian that lost everything, but they have already spent $4 billion with a big capital B. Where has the monies gone? We'll find out. Vote for Kai. And don't be shy, because Kai cares. That is why he's still here. You're live with Kai on WCAY.